Chapter 40, we are in the midst of the storm at the opening of this chapter, and Jeffrey Tempest is locked in his cabin, buffeting. He starts hearing like sounds in the lightning. The lightning goes across the sky. I guess he must have a window, and it also writes out these words, and the words are I've Satanus, which I assume is Hail Satan, Hail Satan. He bashes against the door to no effect. Finally, he runs at it with all his might, moves a little bit, and then it's flung open by Lucio. Lucio, who takes him to the saloon and says, You have lost all capability of resisting me. You will stand silent." And he proceeds to read him the riot act, where he, a usual kind of railing against wasting God's gift of the immortal soul, the genius of the soul on that he was specifically selected because Jeffrey actually had what does it say? Genius. Um, You, Geoffrey Tempest, as a man in whom a thought of God was once implanted, that subtle fire or note of music out of heaven called genius, so great a gift is rarely bestowed on any mortal, and woe betide him who, having received it, holds it as of mere personal value to be used for self and not for God. So you had genius, you only wanted to use it for yourself. Um, you were given God's blessing of poverty and suffering to forge you into someone greater, and you rejected this, and it's starvation sickened you, uh, poverty maddened you. um, you cannot wait, because basically, it's this whole thing of Fortis. Uh, there's this whole thing of basically it's like you should have been happy, because this would have made you into a great person. It didn't. You cursed it. You just wanted to kill yourself, uh, curse yourself, compassionating yourself, admiring yourself, and none other, with a heart full of bitterness and a mouthful of cursing. You were eager to make quick havoc of both your genius and your soul. For this cause your millions of money came, and so did I. And yes, I am the source of your money. Duh. I am the guy that left you all that money. You was the yeah, he was a miser, evil to soul's core, by virtue of his own deeds, and he and his dross were mine. Maddened by the sheer accumulation of world's wealth, he slew himself in a fit of frenzy. He lives again in a new and much more realistic phase of existence. This is the whole thing of, you think there's only this universe, this phase of existence. This is just this is leading to the worlds to come, where you'll be in trouble, my boy. Oh, you'll be in trouble. And yes, so we're getting a big dressing down by Satan of Jeffrey Tempest, which, you know, is, I guess it's the comeuppance of Jeffrey Tempest. It's feeling pretty didactic of the Satan is now going to read you the riot act and tell you how much of a bad boy you've been. Kind of already got that kind of repetition. This is the thing that about Maria Corelli is like, she's not subtle. She's using the hammer on you, and we're going to repeat the lesson over and over again. Um, Also get some really vivid descriptions of the storm and stuff like that. Like, kind of reminds me of the Tempest in its execution on a boat in the grip of a storm. The storm, which apparently it's not the God's natural storm. It's a storm that is of all the godless men who died at sea, basically. And he has control over them, and he just dismisses them, and everything goes quiet and still. And thus begins the lesson. So we'll continue the lesson, the last 9 minutes of this chapter, tomorrow.